Can Trump fire a governor of the Federal Reserve, Lisa Cook? Here we go. Hi, I'm Darren Monroe. I used to work on Kamala Harris's campaign, one of tens of thousands in the engagement team, and I have 30 years marketing branding experience. And on this channel, I'm teaching how to go from chaos to clarity. Speaking of which, I have a clarity group. You can click through the link in the description and the link on the homepage and join my clarity group before the price goes up. I think I'm probably going to double it. It's going to get real weird. I'm going to start, boom, getting the price up, kind of to get the weird people. You know, it's a major value. That's why I'm saying that. Okay, let me go on to the information here. Here's the deal. He doesn't have, according to every lawyer I have talked to and seen and speak, he doesn't have any legal standing. No more legal standing than he does to get rid of the mail-in ballots for states. Remember that? I'm going to get rid of mail-in ballots from states. And even red states was like, no, you ain't. You know, this is the way this fool works. This is the way this nut job works. So what we're dealing with is somebody who's completely lost their mind. And, And what I'm saying to you is it's going to be okay because she's going to sue, and she is. She's got one of the best lawyers that beat down presidents. I mean, the guy's gangster. And she's going to fight her way through this, and the judge is going to rule through this because there's no precedent for that. And what they're trying to do is hurl an accusation of her trying to get a better mortgage rate in one of her homes. Problem is, what she did, whether it was supposed to be ethical or not or whatever, it wasn't while she was she was governor of the Federal Reserve. It wasn't. They don't have a right to do that. That's what I'm saying. You can't. You got to find wrongdoing, and there's no wrongdoing. So since there's no wrongdoing, you have no right to say, oh, well, I'm going to get rid of her. There's no wrongdoing she's done in her job. She's going to get her job. What he's trying to do is get her out the job so he can sneak someone in and have them vote out Powell, the chairman. And because he wants to lower rates and he wants to mess around. This guy is a hot mess across the board on economy. These tariffs are bringing the price of everything up. They're creating a lot of heat between us and our allies and even our adversaries. And on top of that, economically, he's doing crazy, stupid things. He's talking about he wants Intel he wants the government to buy into Intel. That's communism. I'm sorry, as many times on the right as you talk about socialism being communism, that government owning companies is communism. In addition to that, the flip side of that is that he wants Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae to have IPOs, initial public offerings, to make money. Then on top of that, he wants to privatize Social Security so he can make money. And don't you think that's interesting? Don't you think that's very, very interesting that he wants to do that? The same guy who wants to call out socialists, but he's doing communism. The same guy who says, I'm going to help clean up the swamp, but he wants to make privatize industry where he's getting a bag. And how does he get a bag? Very simple. He has these meme coins, which is like a Swiss bank account. You're a company or you're a country. You can put money into this meme coin. And what they're going to do is take loans against the value of the meme coin. Now, why is that important? Because the loans are tax-free. All loans are they're not taxable, but you got to pay the loan back with the interest, right? So he's going to take his earned income that has come in, from all his other grifts and deals and licenses. He's going to pay the loans because if he tries to keep that money, it's taxable. But he can pay that money down this is how people with money do this, okay? This is how people with money do this. And so that part isn't illegal. It's the meme part. The put money into the meme. I'm going to head nod on you doing it. That's why his family's in private practice. So you got this whole game going on, side game going on, where he's getting the government into buying corporations. You think some of these corporations and people in it, investors and BlackRock and so on, you think Peter Thiel, any of these people making any money off that? Elon? Of course they are. Yeah. And then you have the privatization, IPOs. Are they making some money off it? Of course they are. It's some real weird games. And he wants to play games with the Fed rates. The whole purpose of the Fed to be independent is so that politicians, particularly the president, can't politicize stuff, lower rates when they're in the middle of an election year, whether it be a midterm or a presidential election year. The president should have no more power over that than he does labor and statistics, like when he fired that woman with labor and statistics. And that was scary too. We have some scary stuff going on. I can't lie. But the good news is, sister girl, Lisa Cook, is in a good position. She's done nothing wrong. She's got legal counsel. We do have federal people. I know what some of you are going to say. Oh, but Darren, what about the Supreme Court coming in? Supreme Court doesn't take every case they want to get. It doesn't happen that way. And Justice Alito is in trouble. He's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. These Supreme Court people, and I got a previous video you can look at, something's up with this Supreme Court. Unusually up. Because even the other Supreme Court members who disagree, like Ketanji Brown and Sotomayor, they're like, something ain't right. There's some weird going on. There's investigations going on. Unfortunately, the people doing the investigations, if they're in the government, they got to be super quiet. And I've talked several times, even in my Clarity group, about there being now 9 different investigations, the 9th being Supreme Court. I'm going to be putting out a report on that in the next 24 hours, talking about the Supreme Court investigations. In fact, I'm updating my 8 secret investigations to now 9. It was 7 originally, then Epstein came up, and then Supreme Court came up. There's some weird shit going on, and people are looking at it privately. We have thousands of intelligence officers without jobs who either quit, took the buyout, were fired, or had quit, had basically retired. That's the one I'm looking for. And many of them have gone into the private sector, and some of them are consultants. For who? Big companies owned by wealthy people. See, I have another report in the Clarity group called The 5 Civil Wars. And one of them is the wealthy. They're fighting it. The wealthy civil war is happening. You think that the wealthy are all on the side of Trump. And I'm telling you, it's a big fucking lie. It is. There's 700 plus billionaires. There are 22 million millionaires. And you would think, oh yeah, they're all on the side of Donald Trump. No. Here's the truth about wealth that I've learned, because for 20 years, I've been running my own business. And I can tell you something I've learned very important about the wealthy. If you have money, and when I say money, let me talk different levels of money. I ain't talking about, you earn $100,000 a year, or $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year. No. I'm talking about, and I ain't even talking about you have at the top end billions of dollars. No. I'm talking about there are 22 millionaires, and most of them are 7-figure and 8-figure. And these millionaires, for instance, the average considered wealth in America is 30 million. In Switzerland is 125 million. In Monaco is 200 million. You understand? But here is considered 30 million. And it doesn't have to be 30 million. It could be somebody with $1 million or with $500,000 even. Not even at $1 million, but $500,000. What I'm trying to tell you is this. There's several ways they can move money and earn money and move money around. Wealthy people do not get taxed because they are not earning as individuals. They're earning as companies. The companies get taxed based on net, not as gross. Why is that important to know? Because some of these wealthy people don't care about his tax breaks because they're already financially positioned without them, and they can't stand him. And I'm not just talking the wealthy elite in New York. I'm talking about Miami. I'm talking about LA. I'm talking about Silicon Valley. I'm talking about people in Wall Street. They are pissed, and some of which are financing private investigations without saying it out there. And that's what it comes down to. Now, you might say, well, how do you know that? Because people have hinted around to me about it. They have. And I have no direct proof. Absolutely. I'm not telling you, oh, this is conspiracy. I got a tinfoil hat on. But I'm telling you, people looking into this shit. And if you fuck around with the Fed gov firing Lisa Cook and fuck with them Fed rates and fuck with our economy, ain't gonna look good. Ain't gonna look good. I'm going to talk about the economy in a future video within the next 24 hours and give you an idea of what I think is happening, which is not good, but I'll tell you right now some things you should think about. And I'm not a financial advisor or paid advisor or licensed advisor, but just my thoughts and opinions, okay? Thank you for your subscription. For those who have subscribed, I greatly appreciate you. Again, I want to do another shameless plug for my Clarity group, which is link is in the description, link in the homepage. But until then, binge watch my content. You will absolutely love it. I'm going to break it all down to you. Let's go.